I recently went on my first journey to Lisbon, Portugal. Like many first-time travelers, I had a bunch of questions. Like, what is Lisbon famous for? Do I need to know Portuguese to visit Lisbon? And how expensive is Lisbon for tourists? In this video, I'll share with you what you need to know before visiting Lisbon and other essential tips to help you plan well for your trip and make the most of your Lisbon adventure. Hi everyone, I'm Antoinette and welcome back to my channel. At Frolic and Courage, I like to help you plan well, have fun, and travel the world. Today we're talking all about Lisbon, Portugal, and I'm going to cover a lot. And while I can't fit all of the links and all the things I'm talking about in the description box below because I'm limited on characters, feel free to either take notes on your phone or a piece of paper, or check my blog link in the description box for all the details and all the links. So let's get started with a little bit of history. Lisbon is one of Europe's oldest cities with Phoenician roots dating back over 3,000 years. It flourished under Moorish rule, then became the heart of Portugal's legendary Age of Discovery, launching explorers like Vasco da Gama across the globe.
In 1755,
Lisbon experienced a devastating earthquake during a national religious event. Candles lit for the occasion ignited fires, and a subsequent earthquake triggered an aftershock which made a tsunami, destroying much of the city and resulting in significant loss of life. Those who didn't pass from the earthquake were caught in the fire, and those that weren't caught in the fire eventually drowned for the tsunami. And this was a dark period of time, but Lisbon rebuilt with resilience. In the early 1900s, revolutionaries overthrew the monarchy, and in the mid-70s, the dictatorship was overthrown in a protest with thousands of civilians placing carnations over soldiers' guns as a symbol of peace. Today, Lisbon blends old world charm with modern vibrance, making it a top destination for solo travelers, couples, and digital nomads and families alike. This very brief history is important to know because it informs the culture and practices that you are going to experience on your trip. So why visit Lisbon overall? Lisbon has stunning views, charming streets, warm weather, rich culture, great food, and it is pretty affordable. You can arrive in Lisbon through a couple of different means. So, Lisbon, or Lisboa in Portuguese, is the capital city of Portugal, located on the western coast of Europe along the Atlantic Ocean. You'll often see addresses listing the Portuguese name of Lisbon, Lisboa, and Rua, or R. insert street name, when navigating the city using an online map. For visa requirements, US citizens can enter Portugal for up to 90 days without a visa. However, just make sure your passport is valid at least 3 months beyond your planned departure date. And if you're not from the US, be sure to check your country's visa requirements for more information, and keep an eye, everybody, on the European ETIAS requirement that may be coming sometime in the future. Lisbon operates on the Western European Summer Time, or WEST, which is about 5 hours ahead of the US East Coast from where I am. So you can arrive to Lisbon through the airport, which is LIS. There are train stations to include Santa Apollonia, Guerra de Oriente, Entrecampos, and Sete Rios, and we'll talk a little bit more about those a little bit later. And there's also a cruise port. So whether it's by train, by air, or by sea, you can still get to Lisbon. So let's talk about getting in and around the city, transportation in Lisbon. So, getting around in Lisbon is pretty easy. The public transportation has an efficient metro, tram system, and a series of buses. Caris is the official public transportation operator for the city, so you'll see Caris written on buses. There's a couple different ticket types that you can purchase. A single trip or journey for 60 minutes starts at around €2.20 for a bus, €3.20 for a tram, or €1.85 for a metro. There are 1-day or 24-hour passes available, starting from your first validation for around €7. And if you're on the bus and you want to pay the driver directly, make sure you use cash only, and it's going to be a slightly more expensive fare. The Navigante Ocasional card is for shorter vacations. These cards allow zapping, which are credits and prepaid fares and passes loaded on the card. And you'll get slightly better fares with this card. These cards cost €0.50 plus the amount of money you want to load on it. And if you use the card, a single journey now is €1.66 versus €1.85 if you just pay in cash. The minimum amount of fares that you can load is about €3, and you can add funds in multiples of up to €5, up to a maximum balance of €40. And be sure to keep your receipt with you as long as you need it in case of a card malfunction. This card is only valid for one person at a time. You cannot use it with multiple people, but you can use the card for subsequent trips up to a year in Lisbon. There's also a customized Navigante card for monthly passes, so be sure to select the appropriate card when checking out. If you're buying tickets and passes in Lisbon, you can also pay using contactless payment, such as a credit card or Apple or Google Pay. You can't use the same credit card for multiple people again, but to validate it, you just tap on entry and on exit. It's only valid for Visa, VPay, Electron, and MasterCard, so sorry, American Express. You may see multiple pre-authorization charges on your card for small amounts, but don't be alarmed. At the end of the day, you will see the final amount. And remember to only swipe your contactless card or Apple Google Pay, not your entire wallet if you have other contactless cards in there, to avoid being charged multiple times. I'll put the website for Caris in my blog. Always check the website for the latest fares, as prices can change over time. You can also walk around the city. The city is walkable with really cool side streets and great views, but be prepared for hills. Lisbon is known as the City of Seven Hills, and you will feel the burn, right? We certainly felt the burn on our trip. Google Maps works really well in Lisbon, but just know that you may be routed the best way through narrow passages and steep hills, so wear comfortable shoes. It's totally normal. Enjoy the hike while you're there. And of course, the scenic views. There's also scooters and bicycle rentals to get around Lisbon, which is recommended due to those inclines I just mentioned. Gira bike rentals in Lisbon offer a great value for both regular and electric bikes. Download the Gira app to pay and unlock bikes throughout the city. The first 45 minutes of each ride are completely free, and if your trip lasts between 45 and 90 minutes, there's a €2 charge. And for rides longer than 90 minutes, there's an additional €2 charge added for every 45-minute block beyond that. For example, if you have two separate trips of 44 minutes, it would cost nothing, while a single 150-minute ride would cost €6 in total. In addition to Gira, scooter and e-bikes are available for rent through Uber and Bolt at around €2 to €4 per ride. So we mentioned public transportation via metros, buses, scooters. What about trains? Lisbon is served by several key train stations, each offering convenient access to the city center. And by city center, I mean either Commerce Square or the Baixa Chiado district. The Santa Apollonia station is the closest, located just about 1.2 miles or 2 kilometers from the Chiado area in the city center. It's a quick 5 to 10 minute taxi ride or a short hop on the Blue Metro line, which gets you there in no time. Then we have Gerde Oriente, which sits roughly 5.5 miles or 9 kilometers northeast of this center, and it's a major hub for long distance and international trains. It's about 15 to 20 minutes by taxi or 20-minute ride via the Metro Red Line, and a quick transfer to the heart of Lisbon. Entrecampo station is located about 3 miles or 5 kilometers from central Lisbon, and it serves suburban and some long-distance routes. It's accessible in roughly 10 to 15 minutes by car or around 15 minutes by metro using the yellow line. Similarly, Sete Rios train station is about 3 miles or 4.5 kilometers away, positioned right near Lisbon Zoo. A taxi will get you to the city center in 10 to 15 minutes, or you could take the blue line directly to Baixa Chiado in about the same amount of time. Each station offers different rail connections, but all are well integrated into Lisbon's really efficient public transportation system. Okay, so we have public transportation and trains and bikes and scooters. Taxis and ride shares are available too. As you can see, there are plenty ways to get around Lisbon, and I think the best ways to get around are by e-bike or by foot for shorter distances, because there are a lot of pedestrian streets and a lot of shortcuts you can take through the rolling hills. But honestly, we found taking an Uber to be affordable and efficient at around €5 per trip, 5 to 10, and the drivers were friendly and talkative, but choose whatever method is best for you. Now let's get into some specifics. How do you get from the Lisbon airport to the city center? Well, Lisbon airport is around 8 miles or 13 kilometers from the city center. By taxi, it's approximately 10 to 15 euros or 15 to 20 minutes. By metro, it's around €1.85 and takes around 30 minutes. And again, ride shares like Uber and Bolt are available and sometimes often cheaper than taxis. And how do you get from the Lisbon cruise port to the city center? Well, you can walk. The Lisbon cruise port is about 500 meters, less than half a mile from the city center, or roughly a 10-minute walk. And the cruise port is only 5 miles from the airport. To get to the city center, it's around €5 and 5 to 10 minutes via taxi or Uber or rideshare. And by train, the Lisbon cruise terminal is connected to the Lisbon Santa Apollonia railway station. Now that we know a little history of Lisbon and how to get around, let's talk practical essentials like language, currency, and safety. Starting with the language. The official language in Lisbon is Portuguese. English is widely spoken in tourist areas. We didn't have any problem speaking English, but there are some useful phrases that you should know when going to Lisbon. I'll give you just 3 of them because my Portuguese, honestly, is not very good, and I'm trying my best, y'all, so please excuse any Portuguese pronunciation I make. I will try my best. The first useful phrase is hello or hola. Pretty simple, right? And similar to Spanish. For thank you, for males, you say obrigado. And for females, obrigada. If I say thank you, I say obrigada. If my husband says thank you, he says obrigado. Please is por favor. So not bad, right? Hola, obrigada, and por favor. Pretty simple. The currency in Lisbon is the euro, and for payment methods, credit cards are accepted, but some establishments prefer cash, so always carry some euros in small denominations with you, and bring a backup card if you happen to primarily use an American Express, and be sure your card has 0 foreign transaction fees. When asked to pay, always choose to pay in euros to avoid crazy conversion fees. So, how expensive is Lisbon for tourists? I would say it's pretty affordable compared to other European cities. And of course, prices will increase over time, like always. But overall, I believe Lisbon offers a great value for what you get in terms of food, activities, transportation, and accommodations. A trip can be as expensive or as cost-effective really as you plan it to be. So, if you've traveled to or you live in Lisbon, what are your thoughts? Is Lisbon affordable for travelers? Share your experience or your tips in the comments down below. In terms of safety, Lisbon is generally a safe city and is considered safe for tourists. Of course, there's pickpockets in major areas like Commerce Square and when you're out eating at night. So just be mindful like any major city. And if you're in an emergency, dial 112. So those are some essential tips for a first visit to Lisbon. So let's talk about accommodation briefly. Where to stay in Lisbon. The popular neighborhoods in Lisbon are Baixa, which is centrally located and bustling. Alfama, which is historic and has a lot of history and charm. Chiado, which is trendy and artistic. Bairro Alto has a vibrant nightlife scene. And Belém has a lot of cultural landmarks nearby. We stayed at the Intercontinental Lisbon near Eduardo VII Park. It's not really in walking distance from the major sites, but it was an inexpensive Uber ride, like €5 away from everything. Check out a quick room tour.
Today, y'all, we are staying at the Intercontinental in Lisbon, the city center. We are in room 14. We're all out.
He didn't give me the card, did he?
Nope.
You have to call. I got my phone.
All right, so that was embarrassing, but we have a key. We are in room 1418, so let's go on a room tour. Let's go. As you walk in, you are in a nice long hallway with this chevron print wooden floor and this beautiful textured wallpaper. Really nice. I really like it. And then we have a gorgeous closet immediately to your right or my left. As soon as you walk in, you have an ironing. We have this gorgeous bathroom. It is so pretty. Body lotion and hand wash. We have a vanity mirror. We have this large illuminated mirror here and a sink. I mean, everything you want. There's a blow dryer here. There are slippers. There's even a bidet if you roll that way too. And glass doors. The downside of the glass door is that it is, you know, like one of these, like, not even a half a glass door. It's like a third of a glass door, so I'm sure there's gonna be water all on the floor. But that's okay, because we can still shower cleanly and there's a towel down here. But the floors are really nice. It looks to be a really solid marble. We are in the living room, yay! So we've got a full floor to ceiling just about length mirror.
We have 2 nightstands. It is gorgeously decorated. So the Intercontinental Lisbon is a 5-star hotel property. And so we've got this gorgeous king-size bed, a beautiful work of art. So right after the TV and entertainment system, we have this gorgeous desk right here and a nice little seating area. Right, babe, what do you think so far?
The hotel is very nice, very immaculate, very clean, very modern. Feels like a place that, have a good night's sleep.
Okay, so sleep we shall get.
One of the major questions I had about Lisbon was, when is the best time to visit Lisbon in terms of the weather and what to pack for a vacation to Lisbon? In the spring from March to May, expect mild temperatures with fewer tourists. The average highs range from 64 to 73 degrees Fahrenheit or 18 to 23 degrees Celsius, with lows from 50 to 57 degrees. Expect around 7 to 10 rainy days per month, and especially in March. It's a great time to explore comfortably before the peak season hits. And by peak season, in June to August in the summer, it is hot, dry, and the busiest time for tourism, with highs averaging 79 to 84 degrees and lows around 63 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. And of course, I'll put the temperatures in centigrade on the screen as well. Rain is pretty rare, only 1 to 3 rainy days per month, but it's perfect for beachgoers and festivals, but expect crowds and higher prices. In the fall or autumn, between September to November, it's pleasant weather with fewer crowds, and highs range from around 75 degrees to 64 degrees, and it can drop to around 63 to 52 degrees. This is when we went. We went in September and loved it. It was perfect. And the rain may increase gradually with only around 4 to 11 rainy days per month, but it is a great time to enjoy the city without summer's heat or winter chill or a whole lot of the crowds. And of course, we have winter from December to February. The temperature will be cooler and wetter, but still mild compared to many European cities. The average highs range from between 58 to 61 degrees Celsius, with lows dipping from 46 to 50 degrees. You can expect around 9 to 12 rainy days a month, but it's the off season, so you'll find better prices and fewer tourists. As you can see, Lisbon is mostly a warm weather city, and I love it. So in terms of packing, be sure to bring layers for varying temperatures. Sun protection for the summer months with sunglasses and a hat. A light jacket for the evenings and mornings when the weather is a little cooler, but you can remove those layers of your jacket towards the afternoon when it warms up. And preferably let it be water resistant if it rains, and I'll put my favorite travel jacket in the shop links below. Be sure to wear comfortable walking shoes with a really good grip that are lightweight and can handle both cobblestone streets, high inclines, and stairs. And bring a mini first aid kit in case you trip on said cobblestone, a reusable water bottle to stay hydrated, and remember to dress for the activities that you want to participate in, and just be comfortable. If you're finding this video helpful and are getting value from it, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your traveling companions, or save it for future reference to help this video reach the people who need it. Okay, so we talked about the weather, transportations, history, currency, language. What are some of the top attractions and activities? What are some things to do in Lisbon, Portugal? Well, there's a lot to see and do in Lisbon, and here's just a quick list for you to research and check out. The must-see sites include Belém Tower, Hieronymus Monastery, São Jorge Castle, the Alfama district, which is again historic and amazing, Commerce Square or Praça do Comércio. For cultural highlights, check out Fado music, the traditional Portuguese music genre. For museums, check out the National Tile Museum, MAT, there's Eduardo VII Park. There's also Avenida da Liberdade for all your luxury shopping needs. And for day trips, check out Sintra, known for Palácio de Penha, which is one of Portugal's 7 wonders. There's Cascais and neighboring beaches such as Albarica, Carcavelos, Guincho, Ericeira, and Costa de Caparica. Did I get those pronunciations right, or mostly right? Please let me know, Portuguese speakers. In terms of what to eat or drink, the traditional dishes can include bacalhau ao brás, which is salted cod with potatoes and eggs. There's caldo verde, which is a kale soup, pastéis de nata or pastel de nata, which are these delicious custard tarts. And to drink, there's gingia, which is a cherry liquor, a port wine, that's a fortified wine from the Douro Valley. In terms of tipping isn't mandatory, mandatory but appreciated, about 5 to 10%, and the tap water is safe to drink in Lisbon. But y'all, there is so much more to say about this topic, and I went more in depth about what to eat, exactly what's in it, where to find these foods in my Lisbon Food Essentials video. So check it out after this video in the Planning a Trip to Lisbon playlist. Okay, so we've talked about history, essential tips, what to see, what to do, a couple of day trip ideas, currency, transportation. Now here are some of my travel tips for you based off my experience. One question I had was how many days is enough to spend in Lisbon? And honestly, around 3 to 5 days is ideal for exploring Lisbon and nearby attractions. Another tip is to look into stopover programs. Some airlines offer extended layovers in Lisbon. Specifically, Air Portugal or TAP offers this perk for Lisbon and Porto, Portugal for up to 10 days as a stopover. How this works is you book a ticket on Air Portugal and they'll even prompt you to say, hey, do you want to add a stopover to Lisbon or Portugal? You just select that stopover and there you go from your itinerary from point A with a stopover in Lisbon to point B. This is not sponsored, y'all, but I've flown Air Portugal enough times to know this, so be sure to check with Air Portugal and check with your carrier for a stopover program. I mentioned this before, but the fire really was a huge event that destroyed 80 to 90% of the city. And so as you're looking around Lisbon, you may wonder like, I don't see as many older buildings as I typically do in other European cities. But you know what? That's okay, because you might have more modern amenities and it's still beautiful in Lisbon. Tourism is one of the main industries and is very well equipped and able to handle visitors. So although you may not see as many old sites as you may expect in other European cities, what you see is still beautiful and still has its own historical significance. I mentioned this before briefly, but always bring some cash with you. Most restaurants accept credit cards, but others prohibit them and are on a cash-only basis. So be sure to pick up euros from a Portuguese bank or at the airport ATM machines for the best rates. It goes without saying again that Ubers are available and cheap, and for only 5 euros, it makes sense. Like when we calculated it, to take the bus was like €1.60 or €1.85 since I had a contactless card for myself and €1.85 for my husband. So that's almost 4 euros, and an Uber was 5 euros to get where we're going. So for us, it makes sense to just jump in a really affordable Uber to get where we were going for pretty much most of the time if we weren't walking. In terms of souvenirs, what to bring back from your trip to Lisbon, cork is a big deal. It's a 1.3 billion euro industry in Portugal. So if you find really cool cork products, buy them. We're talking bags, wallets, decorations, and so much more. The cork pieces are really beautiful in Lisbon and around Portugal. There are also beautiful Portuguese tiles for your home projects, or even use them as drink coasters, and there are custom ceramics. For food, you can buy some gingia, port wine, pastéis de nata in a box of 6, they're like 50. And there are the sardines, which are amazing in Portugal. I mentioned fado music before, and I highly recommend a fado music performance. It is a great cultural experience and is said to have been created from the hearts of marginalized people. It's deep, it's soulful, it's beautiful, and worth checking out a fado performance in either the Alfama or Bairro Alto areas. If you choose to attend a performance, remember to respect the fado by not speaking during the performance. And if it's announced, don't take any photos or videos either. It's meant for you to enjoy and to soak up the experience. Another tip I have about Lisbon is that there are actually 7 wonders of Portugal, and this list was voted on by the Portuguese people. Pena Palace, Hieronymus Monastery, and Belém Tower are all within a close, short drive or walking distance in Lisbon, so check them out. The walking scene is great in Lisbon, and you will get a good incline workout, y'all. Let me tell you, Lisbon is full of hills. It's known as the city of 7 hills, and if you decide to rent a bike, try to make sure it's an e-bike unless you want a little extra workout for the day. Lisbon is a city that beautifully blends history, culture, and modernity. Whether you're exploring a historic neighborhood, or savoring the cuisine, or enjoying a vibrant nightlife scene, there's something for everyone, because guess what? Lisbon is up at night as well. Oh, and by the way, when is your next trip to Lisbon? Excuse me for being rude and not asking. Is it in the summer, fall, winter? Is it next month? Let me know in the comments down below. We went in September and it was phenomenal. Traveling to Lisbon can be fun and exciting, but you don't want to get stuck trying to figure out what to eat. So watch my Lisbon Food Essentials video for those food recommendations and my Lisbon video to see what it's really like visiting Lisbon for the first time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye. Oh, just one more thing I forgot, y'all. One more thing. So I've seen all of your messages in the DMs, in comments, in emails, thanking me for my videos, and I thank you so much for watching. You all are an amazing community, and I really appreciate you more than you can even imagine. So thank you for being a part of the Frolic and Courage family. I also hear some of you who love my tips and love the information, but you need a little more assistance in planning your trips. Stay tuned, because I'm actually working on something for you. I see you. I may have turned you down before and said, oh, I can't help, but after some thought, I've been brewing something special for you, for those of you who have reached out to me and said that you need extra assistance with planning your trip. So stay tuned. Maybe the next couple of videos, I'll let you know what I've been cooking up specifically for you. I'm thinking about you. I have not forgotten about you, and stay tuned. I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye.